Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to A Place in the Sun digital masterclass on buying property in Florida. This is the first one of its kind. This is the first session of the masterclass. So hopefully we're going to explain everything and answer all those key questions that you might have about buying a property in Florida. The first one today we're going to kick off with is talking about getting a mortgage. So obviously, if you are planning to buy with finance in Florida, then this is something you should be thinking out before you start looking, ideally, so you know, number one, that you're eligible, and two, that what you can afford. My name is Richard Way. I'm an international property journalist, and I write about property all over the world, including Florida. I've been out there to see various developments and get a good idea of what the market's like in the Orlando area. And today we're very lucky to have a mortgage expert who's going to answer some questions and give us a good overall picture of the market, who is Ben Atwood. He's actually from a company called International Mortgage Associates, but they work a lot with Homes of America Realty, who are available to contact through the website Place in the Sun Digital. Quickly, if you do have questions throughout the session, you can ask those using the Q&A icon, the Q&A platform on your desktop through Zoom. So please do that. We've got Ben here. We're lucky, so he's going to answer all your questions, and I'll field them to him. But hopefully we'll answer most of them anyway as we go throughout the chat. So first of all, let's not waste any more time. Ben, just tell us a bit about, well, you're based in Florida to start. You've kind of got up early to be here. Just tell us where you are and how long you've been working in mortgages.
Morning, Richard. Thank you for having me. I'm based in Orlando, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's just got light. It's not hot yet, so it's quite nice. I've been doing mortgages since end of 2014, start of 2015. Yeah, I've been living in Florida since 2012. Great,
thanks very much. Okay, Ben,
yeah.
let's look at the market, just see what's happening at the moment. How is it? I mean, are there any obvious trends? What's driving interest with your clients that you're helping at the moment in Florida?
Well, currently we're seeing a lot of people, there's been interest since everybody was locked down, and then as time has passed, more and more people are showing a stronger interest in buying over here. And of course, with the pandemic, the currency exchange has been a little haywire. And so a lot of people are taking out mortgages over here to protect themselves against the currency risk. So rather than having, investing 100% of their UK funds over here, they're investing 30% and then borrowing the remaining 70%.
And that will be with a view perhaps of redeeming the mortgage if sterling strengthens in a year or 18 months, 2 years.
Correct. It's a holding pattern. We've seen a lot of cash buyers who've decided, well, for the reasons I just said, don't want to invest all of their funds. It's a holding pattern when the time is right for them to either pay down the mortgage or totally get rid of it and then become a true cash owner of a property in Florida.
So I was going to ask as well, I mean, most of your clients, are they buying second homes or are they investors perhaps? And do you even help people who are relocating?
Correct, everybody. So currently I've got a couple of families who are actually relocating over here. And then I've got some people buying a second home where it's their bolt hole to get away from everything, play a bit of golf in the sun in the winter, whatever they want to do. And then, yeah, we have a lot of investors who want, rental return.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and what affects the rates out there? What are the things that really make the mortgage market move or affect it? And well, moment, is it deemed a good time to get a mortgage in the States?
Right now, it's better than it was. Any global issue impacts the interest rates and the mortgage the deals the lenders are willing to offer. So when Brexit happened, the situation changed over here. Various elections have impacted the rates, and then of course the coronavirus. So when that hit, a lot of the US lenders backed out to the foreign national marketplace. But then as the months have passed, they've come back in, and rates are now better. They're almost on par with certain lenders. They're on par with the rates they were offering end of 2019 when they were really good. So we're almost back to there.
And just generally, we'll go into more of the eligibility things in a bit, but I mean, generally they're quite open to foreign investors and lending to.
Oh yeah, no problem. I've helped people from all around the world, not just the UK, but Australia, Peru, Kazakhstan, UAE, all over the world I've helped. So yeah, they want the investors here, but primarily it's UK buyers that we help.
Okay, so we've explained that it's a good time to get a mortgage. Banks are lending to people. So someone can. Best place to start is by going to someone like yourself, who is a broker.
Yes.
I'm guessing you can go straight to banks there, but what are the main benefits of going to someone like yourself, a broker, when you're buying Florida?
Well, it's a bit like the toothache analogy. If you've got a toothache, you don't really want to remove your own tooth. You go to a dentist. You're investing in a foreign market, and of course you can go direct to the banks, and you don't have to use a broker. But I have experience where buyers have gone straight to a bank, and it's been tough for them, and it's been a nightmare, and they've ultimately come back to me to help them along the way. I'm the sounding board. I'm a broker. I have access to all the loans. So loans, mortgages, interchangeable over here. So I can source the best deal for the buyer. They may have a unique situation that means they have to have a certain loan. Like I have access to all the different types of loans. I can answer all the questions. I can smooth out the process. I have contacts with the banks. So if we're getting into a situation where the bank is looking as though they're going to maybe decline the loan, we can square it off and get it through. So in all the time I've been doing this, I think I've only ever had one declination, but we still got it done with another lender. So yeah, I can answer all the questions. I know what the lenders are looking for. I know what they're not looking for. So I can get it done.
And presumably you work with a whole range of banks. Are they most of them, if you like, national type banks, or are they quite local to the Florida area, or how does it work?
No, so some of the banks are based in Florida, but most of them are out of state. So I work with a lot of Californian lenders, Michigan, I'm trying to think, Texas. They're all over the United States. So yeah, we have the communication with them, and they actually call me on a regular basis touting for business because of that they're interested in the work that we do. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, let's look at some of the deals now that are available. Could you just tell us about the types of mortgages first? So, what types of mortgage do you generally achieve for British people? Are they are they interest only, repayments? What sort of terms are we looking at?
The majority are repayment. There is an option to be interest only with some of the lenders, but most people want a repayment mortgage. And then within that, there are a number of different types of mortgage deals. There's traditional foreign national loan, which is where you provide proof of income, assets, liabilities. Now that will have the lower interest rate, and maybe a 30-year deal, 70% in from the lender, 30% deposit, and the lower interest rate. Then there are stated income deals, which means that there's no proof of income required. It's just proof of assets, proof of liabilities. And then there are some that are akin to the UK buy-to-let mortgages, where the lender's only interested in the income the property will generate. And if it meets the potential outgoings, the lender will do the deal. And then of course there's the no-doc deals, where they're alien to a lot of UK buyers, where literally the lender will lend on production of a passport and proof that they have a down payment. They're not bothered with any other piece of information.
And the rates, are they? Can you get them fixed? Or I'm just thinking, as a holiday homeowner, and you want to know what your monthly budget, what your monthly outgoings are going to be. And if you can fix a rate for 5, 10, 15, whatever years, it's, it'll help you to cover your running costs.
Yeah, of course. So you can fix it for 3, 5, 7, or even 30.
And what sort of rates are you able to fix for people at the moment, typically? I mean, maybe give a couple of examples if you can.
Yeah, right now it's 70% mortgage will attract a rate of around about 6%. But then there are tools you can use to improve the rate if you want to. So if you put more in, the rate can drop a little bit. But also you can buy down the rate and pay a one-time fee at closing, which will reduce the rate as well. So there's various tools that I can help and price out for the buyer so they can see what's the best deal for them.
I can see why I would use someone like yourself to get a mortgage. You obviously have to know your way around. And in terms of redeeming your mortgage, we talked about people who might be getting a mortgage to minimise their exposure to the exchange rate. Is it easy to get mortgages without redemption penalties?
There's different lenders have different attitudes. So some lenders will allow you to redeem the mortgage in full at any point without penalty. Others tie you in a little bit so that maybe they require a 3-year period where if you redeem the mortgage, you pay a penalty, but it's not like in the UK. The penalty will be smaller, but also you have the tool of paying up to 20% of the balance each year without a penalty being incurred. So when you're borrowing 200,000, 20% in a year is a big chunk of change. So it would be unusual for you to incur a penalty. You would if you paid more than the 20%, but it's still a good chunk to pay off the mortgage.
Sure. Great. And eligibility then. So what are the main things that I know you said there's different situations depending on your what your own financial situation is, but what are the key things that affect your run-of-the-mill, if you like, second home buyer? So they're based in the UK, buying a vacation home to rent out. What sort of things are banks going to look at, and what are going to help people get approved?
Well, if you're looking for the mainstream foreign national mortgage, most lenders, the first thing they look at is your UK situation. So are you either a UK homeowner, and you don't have to have a mortgage, but are you a UK homeowner, or are you a UK renter? There's sometimes difficulty when, say, an adult child is living at home with mum and dad, wants to do this. That can present a challenge because they can't demonstrate they're a homeowner or a renter. But if you are a homeowner and you can show a council tax bill, that's a good start. And then it's looking at proof of income, proof of assets, so bank statements, credit, so a UK credit report. So they'll qualify buyers on their UK situation, income, assets, and liabilities. You don't have to have US credit. You don't have to have US income. You don't even have to have been here before. So it's fairly straightforward.
Okay, and we've actually just had a question from Mike Grimmett. Do you need a bank account in America, a US bank account, to get a US mortgage?
Not to start the process in time. By the time you close, like completion in English terms, yes, you will need a US bank account. And the reason being is that's where your utilities will be paid from, but also more than likely that's where your mortgage payment will be paid from.
And are there any other sort of conditions that lenders like to include in Florida? I know in some countries you need to get open. You have to have an account with that lender,
No.
Or do they want you to insure the property through them?
No. The lenders I work with, they just want to see proof that you've got a US bank account, and it can be. We recommend a couple of companies, a couple of banks who will help, but you don't have to go with our recommendation. You can choose whoever you want. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, any of the big names are fine. It doesn't have to be an account with that particular lender. And insurance, again, you're free to choose who you want to insure the property with. It doesn't have to go through the lender.
Great. And I'm assuming that you will help people get an approved in principle, and then that's something that you always advise for people before they even start.
Oh yeah. So Yeah,
like over here.
Yeah. It works slightly differently over here. So it's called a pre-qualification over here. So you'd want to do that sort of, if you were thinking, do it now. It's free. I do them every day, free of charge. It gives the buyer more of an idea as to what their budget is, because some people think that can only afford a small amount, and they're surprised they can actually borrow a lot more than they ever thought they could.
Is it normally that way around? Is it? They're normally surprised at the amount they can get.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah. Because in the UK, we still work on multiples of income, whereas over here it's not really done in that way. So yeah, pre-qualifications, a great idea to do now to get an idea of budget and also likely mortgage terms.
Right.
So then you have a better understanding as to what you are going to be doing, and then when you are able to come over, which may not be till next year. We can review that, and your situation might have changed, so then we can update the pre-qual. But then when you've got a pre-qual, you are a qualified buyer. So when you then start looking at houses, and the seller says, tell me a little bit about the buyer's situation, we can produce, say they're well qualified, so that they jump to the front of the queue. So it helps with the buying process. If you do it the other way around and you find a house and you're thinking you can afford 300,000, and then I'm saying, terribly sorry, you can only afford 200,000. It's not a nice experience, and I hate being the bearer of bad news.
Very good advice, thank you. And how long do these pre-qualifications last? I mean,
well, usually they last 60 days. So but provided there's been no material change, I can just renew them. A material change, loss of job, or something that's caused the down payment to be used in another way. So as long as it's similar to the position today, come November, we could just renew it again, and then come next year, just look at it again. So yeah, a lot of people touch base with me and say, I've just changed jobs, does this change anything? And they want to be in a position where they're ready to go when they're comfortable.
So really the key is to keep in contact with you throughout the process.
Yeah,
and just report any changes they think might affect their eligibility, and then hopefully you'll say no, all systems go still, and carry on the process.
Exactly.
Question here from Kevin Atkinson: is there an age limit on applying for a mortgage in Florida?
Not in the US. There's no age discrimination. So I have helped a lot of folks who are of retirement age secure 30-year mortgages.
Right, good. And how long does the process typically take? So if you're, from the moment they first come and see you, you work out what they can afford, and to the moment that someone they'll close on their property, and the loan will become available. What is a typical time span for that process?
It's quite quick. So a pre-qual, say somebody wanted to be pre-qualified today, I would have it done today, maybe tomorrow. Then if they found a house by the end of the week, and we were to start the loan process the following week, I always recommend 60 days from start of the buying process to closing, but we can get it done quicker if we have to. I have done it in 17 days. So it can be done very, very quickly. Yes, it's much quicker than the UK, because I used to do it in the UK as well. So the process over here is much quicker.
Well, that's good to hear. And we've got to talk about costs and fees. So
Sure.
we had a couple of questions. First of all, getting a mortgage, wherever you do it, is going to affect your overall buying costs. There might be extra stamp duty and taxes to pay on that. But also, what about your fees or typical broker fees? How do they work? If you could just give an idea of those.
Well, again, depending upon the lender and the type of loan, your total closing costs can vary from 3% of the price, not 3% of the loan amount, 3% of the price to 5% of the price, depending upon the lender and the type of loan. And that's worst case.
That's all your costs, is it? So
that's not my cost. That's everything you would need to buy. And
a small portion of that would be for the mortgage administration or what taxes?
Yeah, so probably 2% of that would be the mortgage related costs.
Right.
I'm a broker. Some lenders pay me direct, some don't. So the buyer pays me direct, but there's again, some lenders allow you to actually finance part of your closing costs,
Right.
which helps.
Like
So
over
that,
here.
yeah, so that's helped a lot of buyers recently who haven't, they've been a couple of $1,000s short of their dream home. Well, now they know they can finance some of their closing costs. All of a sudden, they're getting what they want, which is really good.
And do people pay your fees direct? Did you say, or you paid by the lender, or does it depend on the broker?
Both. Some lenders pay me direct, but typically I only get paid at closing. So once the deal's done, the closing agent will disperse the funds, and I'll get my payments then. There's no upfront fee to me, and I don't see any money until it's closed.
Okay. And what's a ballpark in terms of your fees? I mean, or just generally in the industry?
Most brokers charge 2% of the loan.
Yeah.
But as I say, sometimes a lender pays it, but buyers can pay it, but they can also finance it if they need to. But it's always a point we can talk about.
Yeah. So it's negotiable with the particular broker you're using, really.
Yeah.
How their lenders operate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm conscious of the time. No more questions. Oh, there's another question that's just come in.
Okay.
From Ian Mills. To renegotiate a mortgage after the initial 2 to 3 stated term, the fees to take a new product with a reduced fixed rate are very high. Is that right? Are these now decreasing in any way to get the latest lower rates? So if you're remortgaging, I suppose, to a lower rate, you pay fees.
Yeah, well, there's always fees when you change unless you stay with the same lender and they're able to offer you a better deal. If you move to a different lender, yes, they're going to charge you fees. But the tool now that's appeared in the last couple of months is some of the lenders will allow you to finance those fees. So yes, there are fees when you refinance, but you can either add them to the loan if you want to. It's really a case of how we price it out in the situation when you come to refinance. We can look at the various lenders' options and price various scenarios out for you.
Great. Okay, we are out of time now, I'm afraid. Thank you very much, Ben. It's been really interesting, very useful. I hope it's helped everyone listening. You can contact Ben for further questions and book a Zoom appointment with him if you like. He's actually with International Mortgage Associates, but he's partnering with Homes of America Realty for this event, and they have a page on aplaceinthesundigital.co.uk, so you can get to him through that. Otherwise, this session has been recorded and will be available on the Place in the Sun digital website in a day or two, so you can revisit it, or you can send it and share it to as many people as you like. Otherwise, thank you very much, everybody. And we have another session following this at 1:30, which is about how to buy, talking about the buying process and how to work with a realtor to find your ideal Florida home. So don't miss that. And thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks,
Ben.
Bye now.